The Dudley Jazz Fest makes a return on Saturday, August 5th at Mary Hannon Park. To tell us about the makings of this year's festival is the organizer and performer, Fred Woodard. Thank you very much for being with us, Fred.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, talk about what this is like here, because this is in Mary Hannon Playground on Dudley Street.
Yes.
And, you say it's a park. You don't usually hear jazz in the park very often, but what was it like last year?
Well, it was good. I mean, there's plenty of space there. They have the playground, basketball court, and all that, but behind that, you have the general park. And there was enough space to do what we needed to do. And it was fun. A lot of people came out and they seemed to enjoy themselves. They appreciated the music. So it was a good time.
Of course, part of this performance here is there's a group consisting of, among others, you and your son, Frederick, as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Okay, well, the group, fortunately, is the same people I've had last year. In fact, this particular lineup has been together since about 2010. We have Matthew Williams on drums, Keely Jamal Haynes on bass, and myself on guitar, my son on violin. So we've been together for quite some time. And I worked as a trio for many years, just guitar, bass, and drums. And then as my son was coming along, he showed an interest in playing jazz and showed the talent. So I gradually worked him into the group.
I'm interested in the chemistry between you and your son, and it taught me a sort of a music lesson here, because you play a strummed string instrument, and
yeah.
he plays a bowed string instrument, and you both sing, and it sounds very similar a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, I sing along with what I'm improvising. I try to have a better flow that way, rather than getting real technical and thinking too much when I perform. That kind of helps me. I think sometimes I may sing too loud, but it's something that really helps me develop a good flow of the ideas that are coming out. So yeah, I frequently do that. Yeah.
Of course, the other thing about this kind of a setting for this music is you have people who don't ordinarily come out for jazz, and they're going to hear this and they're going to say, well, this sounds a little bit like something I might have heard in hip hop or blues. Yeah. So I mean, this is just a door to these other rooms too, isn't it?
Yes, I very much agree with that. So it gives them an alternative, because the general media doesn't really expose folks to jazz. So when they come here, it's an opportunity to see various jazz groups, each kind of having their own flavor, and they gain an appreciation for it. Plus, most of the artists will have CDs available for people to purchase and so forth. So, it's a great introduction. They don't have to pay anything. They can come out and have a good time. 6 hours of music with different bands. It's really a good time for, all involved.
This is BNN News, and we're talking about the Dudley Jazz Fest with Fred Woodard. Talk about one of the other participants here, the Maconda Project.
Yeah, the Maconda Project's been around for, I think, about 12 years or so. And they're a group, a large ensemble, 13 pieces, and they were originally put together to play the music of a person named Maconda Ken McIntyre. And he was a saxophonist and educator. So he wrote a vast amount of tunes and so forth. So what the Maconda Project is doing is taking some of the songs that he wrote, but he never performed or never recorded. And John Kordaleski, who's the leader of the group, has written probably about 50 arrangements based on Maconda's music. So the band was formed around that concept. And for this particular festival, they're going to be featuring the music of Kooumba Frank Lacey, who's a trombonist and composer. So it'll be kind of a different thing than what they usually do. But Frank is part of the band on most occasions, but this time they'll be featuring his music. And he'll be doing a lot of conducting and so forth. So that's kind of a twist on last year.
And of course, for people who don't know this already, Maconda Ken McIntyre was from right here in Boston.
Yep.
What about some of the other performers? You've got a couple of other people who are new this year. Tell me a little bit about them.
They're new to the festival, but they've been in Boston for quite some time. We have Patrice Williamson, who's a vocalist, and she's originally from Memphis, Tennessee, and she currently teaches at Berkeley, which she's really well known in the jazz community as a great performer. At this point, she has 3 recordings that she has released. The most recent one is a tribute to Ella Fitzgerald, and I happened to catch some of her clips on YouTube, and it sounds excellent. Her and a guitarist were doing a piece, and it sounded really good. So I'm really looking forward to hearing her and hearing some of the songs from that particular CD. The other person is George Russell Jr., and again, he's a person that's at Berklee also. He's the head of the harmony department, and he describes his music, or describes himself as a drummer playing the piano. So his music is really rhythmic and has a real nice groove to it. But it's jazz, But jazz originally was music that was dance music. So I think his music kind of gives that kind of flow, has that kind of flow to it that makes people move. So I'm really excited.
Do you expect they'll be doing this in the park?
What?
Once they start hearing this music?
Well, they have. I mean, I encourage it. If it moves you, then move. Because that's one of the misconceptions about jazz, that you can't dance to it. But there's a lot of artists out there that play music. It's serious music. They don't dumb down the music, but they create a certain feeling that makes people move.
Right. We should mention finally the details on the time. This is going to be Saturday, August 5th. And which times of the day is this going to be from?
This is going to be from 12 noon till 6 p.m.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Okay.
Fred Woodard about the Dudley Street Jazz Fest.